Today we're going to chat about 10 different ways that can save you a whole bunch of money from the Depression era. How many of us remember those? Thankfully, most of us don't. Most of us have parents who remember that, right? And so we're going to chat about some of those ideas. If you use them today, let me know in the comments section down below. If you think you might be able to incorporate some of these, I think they're great ideas to save money today, to keep stuff out of the landfills, to be more responsible with the planet and with our finances, because we're not out of the clear yet, you guys. We're not. So let's figure out ways to save money. I am literally being dive bombed by Japanese lady beetles because it warmed up to 75 degrees here in northern Michigan on the 29th of October. Unheard of. I think we broke a record today. And so when it gets that warm, they come out of hibernation. It doesn't matter how many times they come out of hibernation. I got to figure out how to kill them. So that's going to be my Google quest tonight. But we're going to talk about 10 life-saving habits from the Great Depression era, okay? Focusing on frugality, resourcefulness, and self-sufficiency. Number one is to learn to make do with what you have. And we're not really good with that. I know. I am horrible with that, okay? I love the new gadgets. I love testing out the new stuff. I love moving on to the next great thing. But to learn to be truly happy with what you have, to understand that you don't need an entire 20-piece set of new pots and pans, because in all honesty, you use like 2 or 3, you know? You don't need the newfangled this or the newfangled that, because you pretty much get by without it now, right? It's not going to save you that much time. It's not that much of a hardship. It's kind of like with canning. I absolutely love using the old sieve for tomatoes. You know, the thing, the cone that you put the mortar. Is it the mortar or the pestle? Anyway, that you put the wooden thing in and you move it around and it pushes all the tomato, the meat and everything out, but it keeps the seeds and the skins in and it separates them. And to me, that is the best way to make tomatoes. It's not necessarily time efficient, okay? But it's the best way to make tomatoes. And truth be told, it doesn't take that much more time than any other process I've ever done, and it makes a lot less mess. Sometimes the old ways are not the bad ways. Sometimes new is not always better. And that's what we have to come to realize. Sometimes it's something as simple as, let's go for a walk instead of, let's go shopping. How many of you go shopping when you're bored, right? So you don't always need, you know, that new thing. Instead of rushing out to buy something new, you know, we need to learn how to repair. Yes. How to repurpose. Absolutely. It's one of my favorite things to do. And how to make items last. We live in such a disposable world anymore. My washing machine and dryer. Our dryer has been with us since we bought this house. It came with the house, truth be told. And we have used that thing to death. I've replaced the washing machine once. And we bought a Speed Queen because I wanted a commercial, large washing machine so I could put my comforters and whatnot in it. And unfortunately, when I had to replace that Speed Queen because something went horrifically wrong with it, I had to get the new one, and I was literally a couple months short of the cutoff time where they stopped making them without the motherboard. I'm like, I don't want a washing machine with a motherboard. I desperately don't want a washing machine with a motherboard. I want as few computers as possible. Please do not have my refrigerator hook up to Wi-Fi, you know? Sometimes simple is best. It lasts the longest, and you don't have to worry about it quite so much. So, learning to make do. It's a great thing. Number 2 is cooking from scratch. You know I love cooking from scratch, okay? And learning how to make things instead of going out and buying them. The perfect example that seems to be getting quite a few hits lately is my video on DIY gravy mixes. Because if you go and buy the powdered packeted gravy mixes, they're getting kind of pricey out there to make like a cup or two of gravy, right? But gravy is so easy to make. And mustard is so easy to make. You know, you can learn how to make all of these things. Even, you know, even if it's not food, there's a lot of stuff out there that you can learn to make yourself to save you a ton of money, and it doesn't take that much time. It really doesn't. It takes a couple of minutes to see how to do it, and then some just, you know, a little bit of backbone to give it a try. Because what's the worst that's going to happen? It doesn't work? Big deal. Try it again until it does. Learning how to create what we need ourselves instead of relying on a company to make it for us. Oh, that takes us back like 4 generations. Number 3 is to stock a simple and long-lasting pantry. Okay? You guys hear me say it all the time. If your food is made in a manufacturing plant, it is not food. It is a food-like substance. And I get it. Okay, there's all kinds of arguments for it, and I don't agree with 90% of them. There are ways to make all of this work if people want to work at it, but they have literally spent 4 generations training us that we want convenience, okay? So stocking a simple and long-lasting pantry is super easy because it's stocked with real food, forever foods. It's stocked with wheat. It's stocked with sugar. It's stocked with salt. It's stocked with beans and legumes and, you know, grains. It's, yeah, all the good stuff. And because it's not super convenient, you will not be shoving it down your throats constantly, giving yourselves diabetes and cancer and all those other things that the manufactured food with their ease and convenience and chemicals gives us. Number 4. It's the wrong season, I know that, okay? But a victory garden, you guys. Nothing says you're not going to own us like a victory garden. Nothing says we can do this in spite of you, like a victory garden. I've mentioned him a gazillion times now, but one of our dazers, his name is Sven. He's in Norway. Sven grows peppers and tomatoes on his 4th floor apartment windowsill in Norway. What's your excuse? Number 5, something that's near and dear to my heart is to preserve your own food. Okay, it's not hard, and you don't, you know, it costs money. So do hospital bills, you know? So if you learn to do it right, follow the process, trust the process, do it correctly, go in with a friend on a pressure canner, go in with a friend, you know, on the jars and stuff. It's always better. Teamwork makes the dream work and all that kind of stuff, right? But there are ways to make it happen, to save up for it. So you can have the defeatist attitude, or you can jump in there and say, I'm going to make this happen. I'm going to sacrifice. I'm going to do what I need to do to make it happen. You can do it. Absolutely. So preserving your own food, whether that is canning, whether that is pressure canning, water bath canning, whether that is dehydrating, okay, or freeze drying, or whatever the case may be. Preserving your own food is a great way to save money and to be more frugal. Now, obviously, they were not freeze drying back in the 1930s, right? But the whole thought is preserving your food, because you need to be able to focus on the frugality of it. So if you can grow it, then you can preserve it, then you've got it moving forward. One of the things I think that was a catalyst, thank you, one of the things that was a catalyst for me to be able to teach how to preserve your food was when I worked in my office. We allowed the farmers market to use my office line to run their cards and stuff through. And there's a program here called Double Up Bucks. And so if people came in with their EBT card and they purchased 20, and it doesn't have to be just with an EBT card, I think it does. Anyway, we can find out. Anyway, they come in and they purchase $20 worth of tokens, okay? And then we give them an extra $20 worth of tokens to be able to buy fresh produce at the farmer's market. Because this was in my office, it was a very small building. A lot of times I heard conversations about, I only want to do like $7 because I won't be able to eat all of it. Oh my gosh, you're given $20 in free produce and you don't know how to preserve it so that you've got it for another day. It broke my heart because I just wanted to go, please let me show you how to do this. Please let me show you how to do this, you know? So there are always ways to preserve, whether it's freezing, whether it's dehydrating, whether it's canning, whatever the case may be. Being able to preserve your own food is a great way to be frugal and to be able to save money and to eat healthy moving forward. It's a Great Depression era resource that we're still doing today, and we've gotten better at it. Number 6 is to save and reuse everything. Holy Hannah. Okay, empty the landfills, my friends. We throw more crap away on a daily basis, right? Whew, everything. Now, if you're my age or older, or possibly a little bit younger, then you grew up when Wonder Bread made winter boot liners. Yes, okay? And twist ties. You saved twist ties, and you saved the bread clips. You saved, you saved everything. You reused Ziploc bags. You reused foil. Do you remember the grief I got when I made a tinfoil hat for a live show, and people were all over me? What a waste of tinfoil. Oh my God, it was dollar store tinfoil. It was god awful. But yeah, technically it was a waste of tinfoil. To be able to reuse all these things as many times as possible will save you so much money. We throw out money on a daily basis in this country. I don't know about any other country, but we throw out stuff all the time. So being able to reuse things, right? Depression era households reused all kinds of things. Jars, bags, cans, scrap material for reuse, right? This mindset reduces waste and keeps supplies on hand for when you need them. I about lost my mind. I am a Thrive Life consultant. Yeah. And I have cans that I'm emptying out on a regular basis. And when I needed one of them to be able to blowtorch holes in landscaping fabric, I didn't have one. I didn't have an empty one. I didn't have a can. What are you doing with your cans, Lisa? Well, now we're saving them, much to Phil's chagrin. But, you can reuse them for all kinds of things. You can even plant plants in them. Yes, you can. So jars, you can't can in commercial jars, but you can definitely wash the heck out of them, dry them really well, and use them for storing dried goods. They are rodent proof. They are insect proof. They are typically airtight. Okay. Reuse it. Save yourself a ton of money. Number 7 is to make your own cleaning supplies. I don't know where we went wrong as a society where everything has to smell frou-frou like something it's not. I don't need scent beads in my washer. Yeah. I can tell if I get around people who use Gain laundry soap, I can tell because it stinks, because you smell like laundry soap. You don't smell good. You smell like laundry soap. Okay. So people, for some reason, have this need to make everything smell artificial. Take a shower, wash your clothes. You don't need any of that stuff. You really don't. It is completely unnecessary. And so, in that case, you can make your own stuff. You can make your own stuff for a lot less. Okay? And it's just super simple. My favorite stain treater is Dawn dish soap. You can use Dawn dish soap and baking soda to make dishwasher tablets if you have a dishwasher. Yeah, you can. You can. What do you need? You don't need Windex. You don't need pretty smelling stuff to wash your windows. You need vinegar and water. Okay? It's simple stuff like this. Vinegar and some orange peels will make a great cleaner for your wood. Clean off the top of your table, that kind of stuff. It's got oil in it, so keep it off your windows. But yeah, you can reuse all of that stuff. You can use the low budget stuff and save a ton of money, because the ridiculousness of our quote cleaning supplies now, you literally need vinegar, bleach, Dawn dish soap, maybe some laundry soap if you're, particular. But yeah, you can make your own laundry soap for pennies on the dollar. Did it for years and years and years. You can make it yourself. Literally save a small fortune. During the Great Depression, people learned to ration literally everything because they had to ration literally everything. We're talking about more than food. Now, I've already explained to you my thought process regarding the food. Agree, disagree, that's fine. But they rationed gasoline. So think about your life today. If you had to ration gasoline, because all of a sudden we're paying as much as other countries for gas instead of the entitled low rates that we're paying and saying that they're too high. If you had to ration your gasoline limit the amount of time that you're driving. Limit the trips that you're taking. How many times would you go to town? How many times would you run through the drive-thru? How many times would you make that boredom trip to the store? You wouldn't, because you're rationing your gas, right? Practicing rationing can extend your resources, and in times of uncertainty, oh, it's so helpful, right? It makes supplies last when restocking is difficult. If you know that distribution issues are coming, if you know that there's potential unrest coming, if you know there's bad weather coming, okay, then the last thing you're going to do is go, hey, everybody, eat everything you can. No, you're going to say, hey, let's step it back a little bit, okay? Let's bring those calories in just a tiny bit so that it lasts a little bit longer. Rationing is a great practice. Barter and trade, my friends, barter and trade. I'm going to go out and buy a case of alcohol every month so I can trade with people, because God knows when the S hits the F, then you want a bunch of drunk, crazy people around you, right? No, you don't. No, you don't. You want to barter skills. You want to barter trades, okay? You want to barter information. You don't want to barter booze. Seriously, stop wasting your money, people. Stop it. Just stop it, okay? When money is tight, then people will often trade skills or goods. If I'm low on cash and somebody says, hey, Lisa, I'll come over and help you in your garden if I can have a couple of your quarts of soup, then I'm going to say, come on over. And I'll probably give you an extra one, To me, it's time and money in that jar. And that time and money will equate to time and money to the person wanting it when there is no time and there is no money. You gotta people to meet your people. I know, right? But you really need to develop community networks. They're so important. You can learn who your people are. It's amazing. I attend different classes. The last one I attended was a plant-based food class at my local library. Am I going to ever give up meat? No, I am not. But I learned a lot of great things, confirmed a lot of great things, had some wonderful conversations with them, right? So you just go and you meet people who are interested in the same kind of things that you're interested in. And those are your people. Build that community network. Communities are literally lifelines during any kind of emergency. You cannot do this on your own, my loves. You cannot, okay? You need people. People share resources. They support each other. They pooled their skills, right? Think about Amish. Look at, I'm going to use Amish. Okay. And they're barn building. The whole community comes together and builds a barn. Yes, that's community. That is what you want, okay? So creating and maintaining those supportive networks with neighbors or family members, right, can help you overcome shortages or emergencies. It's a great thing. Even if you're not an extrovert, which I'm not, believe it or not, I'm very much an introvert. Sometimes you just gotta people. Those are the 10 things, but I'm gonna whiz bang. I'm gonna give you a bonus 10. Are you ready? And we're not gonna go in depth. I'm just gonna tell you my list here. So 10 more things that can help you be more frugal, be more intentional, resourceful, and self-sufficient, kind of like our Depression era forefathers did, okay? Number 1, sew, patch, and mend clothes. We have lost that art, and it is so necessary. So learn how to sew, patch, and mend clothes. You don't need to know how to pull out a Singer and sew yourself an entire 3-month wardrobe out of sheets. You really don't, okay? But learning how to put on a button or fix a zipper or darn a sock will save you a lot of money. Number 2, the frugal practice of meal planning. Yes, she went there. I know. Okay. Conserve energy and resources. Turn off the lights. Don't let the water run. Take shorter showers, okay? Those kind of things will seriously help you. Our electric bill here is stupid. It's gotten really ridiculous, and I'm trying to figure out exactly where it's gone, because there's no reason for most of it. So as far as I can tell, so I am drilling down and I am walking around going, lights off, lights off, lights off, lights off, lights off. I'm turning everything off. I am a horrible nag. Poor Phil married the wrong woman. I'm like, when can we turn off this? When can we turn off that? When can we do that? I'll sit in the dark. I'm good with that. I'm super happy with sitting in the dark. I'm good. But you have to really conserve energy and resources. And if you are looking at any kind of solar or off-grid, living, even if it's not fully off-grid, learning how to conserve those resources is seriously a lifesaver. Learn basic home repairs. I am lacking in this. Phil is pretty good at it. So basic home repairs are super helpful, and any of us can learn how to do any of them, really. It's just a matter of stopping and learning. Make sure you turn off the power if you're going to do anything electrical, right? But some things are harder than others. Some things are easier. As we age, some things are harder. Learning how to do some of your own repairs, though, will save you a lot of money. A lot of money. I have run into people that have spent way too much money to change out a light fixture because they called a full-fledged electrician to come do it, okay? And then I've met people who got totally screwed over because they hired a handyman who really shouldn't have been touching a screwdriver ever in their life, So learning how to do something simple like that on your own will save you a lot of money, a lot of time, and a lot of heartbreak, possibly. Forage for wild foods. I do this a little, not a lot. A little. I could do more. I don't. But if you can learn to identify them, I can now identify different herbs as I'm driving down the road. And I've gotten pretty proficient at it and pretty repetitive so that even Phil now can identify them driving down the roads, okay? So learning how to do that is really a great resource. Learning how to find out what in your yard or on your property or your park is something that you can actually eat if you have to. I found out that these 8-foot tall weeds, they got 8 foot because I didn't get to them, that I had last year in my pig pen that didn't have any pigs, was actually completely edible. Completely edible. I could have saved a whole bunch of money on salad that year. But I didn't know what it was. Now I do. Now I can eat it. Number 6 is this is something super simple. Live below your means and avoid debt. This is something I'm going to encourage you to do very, very, very much right now, okay? Bring that debt down. Live below your means. Nobody cares about keeping up with the Joneses. Nobody cares about keeping up with the people next door. Literally nobody cares. Do what you have to do to live below your means and to save money and avoid debt. Stay off those credit cards. It's not that hard to do. It's really not. It's a choice. Sometimes a painful one, but a choice. Repair and maintain your tools. Because, canning rings, they're just a tool. It's not an engagement ring, baby, right? But your tools can look pretty old and beat up, too. So if you learn how to maintain them, if you learn how to keep them working properly, how to not let them get all rusty and nasty, then you saved a ton of money. Practice some DIY skills. There's a ton of stuff we can do ourselves, okay? We became skilled at making homemade items from soap to furniture during the Great Depression. And there's a whole demographic of people out there that are doing the same thing today. Whether it's by choice, they're kind of the younger group, or by necessity, resurrecting things that we knew as children, the older group. This is something that we do. Embracing those DIY skills can save you money. It can reduce reliance on stores. I'm all for that, right? And give you the satisfaction of self-sufficiency, because nothing will be so enjoyable in a bath as soap that you made yourself, even if it's ugly. I made this, it's ugly. Yeah, it's great. Embrace simple entertainment. YouTube, okay? Simple entertainment. I have gone through, I fluctuate our streaming services. We don't get cable. I don't get satellite. We don't get regular broadcast TV without a special antenna that I'm not putting another hole in my roof. And honestly, it's not that good anyway. So I don't, we don't have any of that. So we do have really good internet. And so we do stream quite a few things. We have Roku, and I do pay $10 a month, I think, for that. And then the other services like, Netflix and Hulu and Peacock and Paramount, I never have all of them. Last winter, I got Hulu because there was a special for 99 cents a month. I went, what can that hurt? You know what? I haven't turned it on in 6 months. I turned it off today. I unsubscribed today. I'm like, a buck is a buck is a buck. We kept Peacock and Paramount and turned off Netflix because there was nothing on there that we watched. We don't watch a whole lot of TV. I don't watch very much at all. I kind of tune out and read a book or, go on YouTube because it's YouTube. Hello. So embrace that. Reading. Oh my gosh, please read. Please pick up a book and read, okay? Playing cards, reading, storytelling. It's fantastic. Focus on low-cost entertainment. It can reduce spending and help you create lasting memories, okay, without expensive outings. You don't have to go to Disneyland to make your children fall in love with you. Number 10, number 20, collect and use rainwater. This is more applicable for me in the spring and summer, and we'd end up right about now, right? Because it's going to start getting cold here eventually. Eventually, all of the lady beetles will hibernate again. But collect rainwater, because if you're connected to city water, then you don't have to pay to use their water. Your sewer bill is a direct result of your water usage. It's not actually how much sewage you create. It's how much water you use, that they then have a formula to say, okay, if they use that much water, then there must be this much sewage. And so that's what we're going to charge. Okay. I live in the country. I do not have city water. I do have a septic tank. I live in great fear that the septic tank will fail one time and I'll have to come up with an astronomical amount of money. It's a trade-off. It really is. Okay. But you can find ways. You can absolutely find ways to collect and use rainwater for all your different things. You can use it outside. You can find clean ways to save it so that you can use it for your animals. It's fantabulous. These habits emphasize resilience and resourcefulness. Resilience and resourcefulness. I love it, okay? Because that's us. That's us. We are resilient and we are resourceful. And we can do it without big government. We can do it without the big stores. We can do it with less, so that we don't have to work as hard, so that we can save a little bit, so that we can get ahead even when they have it set up against us so that we shouldn't be able to. If we all dialed back, what an amazing world it would be. If you want to check out different ways that you can stock your pantry, check out this playlist right here, my friends. Please remember, be safe, stack it to the rafters.